I'm not on YouTube or something. So welcome. For anybody watching the recording, we had some technical difficulties, and Paddy being an idiot. So welcome to the welcome to the third Power Apps night session, and thanks for coming. As always, I'll keep the slides short, even though we're doing them twice. It's the first few twice, and we'll just try and get through them. So we're going to talk about trial environments, I've lost my ring now. And we're talking about creating trial environments, and they're important for two reasons. I should have done them earlier as the first session, really, because it would have saved me a lot of time and effort setting up the trials for the previous sessions. And it's essential knowledge and critical to your Power Platform learning journey. And it's something that you continue to do once every couple of months throughout the year. Agenda for tonight is the Virtual Power Group news and announcements. So we'll skim through them because most people have heard them already. And we'll look at what a trial is and why we set them up. We'll do a technical walkthrough of how to create a trial. And then we'll look at some next steps. So I'll give you a bit of homework to take away with you if anybody wants to learn more. And then we'll look at what's coming up next in the Virtual Power Group. We'll look at the next open forum session, talk about a few details there. And then we'll have a bit of discussion. So the first thing I want to draw your attention to is the hackathon poll. So if I've not done a hackathon before, it's really good fun. We did really well in the last one. I wasn't part of it, but Team Redspire and Team Reese combined to represent Scotland for the hackathon, and they got an impact award announced by Ben Vollmer, who's the head of field service. So there's a poll there. Me or one of the other admins will put a notification on that poll once this is finished, just to draw attention to it again. It'd be good to get a vote there and see if it's worth arranging one. Also, session feedback. Session feedback allows us to do two things. It allows us to tailor content for the sessions to meet the needs of the Virtual Power Group community. And also, it's really valuable for us, for me and my learning journey, because I'm on a learning journey as well. I'm learning as much as you guys out of this, so that I can tailor the content to what you're looking for. And I always find that I achieve milestones quicker through acting on constructive criticism and receiving constructive criticism and acting on it, particularly from my peers. So again, feedback, it doesn't just go towards, it's not valuable to me, it's valuable to the whole community. So this is where somebody thankfully noticed that I wasn't sharing my screen. And we'll talk about what a trial is. So a trial is a fully functional Office 365 tenant, which includes 25 Office 365 user licenses. It comes complete with its own Azure Active Directory, and it allows you to purchase other services and add to it. And some of those other services also come as free trials and include 25 user licenses. So you can build an environment for a small business there. And the best thing about them is that they're free. The catch is that they expire after 30 days. Most of them expire after 30 days. There is ways of expanding the expiry date or extending them, but most of them are 30 days. And we'll talk about some of those ways a wee bit later. Once expired, the usage is restricted, and shortly after, the data is deleted. So you should avoid trying to holding any valuable data or any customizations and extensions on those trial environments that can't easily be replicated without backing them up or anything. And by their nature, they're disposable. So that's actually one of the benefits of the trials, their disposability. And so you can just spin them up quite quickly and then completely discard and abandon them, and they'll be tidied up after they expire. To give you an example, last month, for the kind of Power Apps Nights training sessions, I created about 75 CDS database environments, not 75 tenants, but 75 database environments. And I'm not going to revisit them again. That's them done. I'm not going to touch them again. They will just get wiped over in 30 days. So I don't need to worry about them. I see that as a plus. So why would you create a trial? Well, they're like a playground. You can get a lot of functionality out of it, and it's completely yours. So if you look at the image in this slide here, you'd think there was a global pandemic on or something, because there's nobody in the playground. But that's the good thing about having these trials. It's exclusively yours until you want to share it with someone else. So also look at this slide, and you see it's quite a lot of stuff in that playground. And that's just like your trial. You could say it's feature rich. So you've got loads of things to play with in the playground, all yours. And because it's yours, it doesn't matter if you break it. So you can break it away. Nobody's going to be affected. You're not going to bring down any business by, unless you're connected to some other trial on some real environment. You're not going to bring down any businesses by breaking your trial. And also, it protects you. So it protects your intellectual property. I'll give you a good story about this from years and years ago in my past. You knew a wee front-end web developer, quite a young guy, just starting out, and he was really talented. And he wrote a really cool web resource. It was CRM on premise. I can't remember what version it was, but he wrote a really cool web resource to extend the case entity, and it had some plugins and things in there. It was a really neat solution. And he came to me and showed me it. I said, "Oh, that's really cool. You should try and make a couple of quid per user or something on AppSource or something." And he thought, that's a brilliant idea. So he went for advice to the technical director of the company, and he loved the idea too. And I'm sure you can see where this is going. He took it to the CEOs of the company, and the company started selling it, and he didn't make a penny. The wee guy who built it in his own time. And the reason is that it was on their infrastructure, on their tenant that he'd built the solution. And so if you've got if you're working away on some cool stuff and trying things out at home, and you make something cool, that is completely yours. It's built in your time on your environment. They're also very good for pre-sales demos and for building proof of concepts. Although just be aware when you're doing that and not put too much effort into them, because like I said, they're going to be wiped. I've had experience in the past where I've built a proof of concept or a demo and sent it to a client, give them some access to it and showed them how to use it, and they haven't looked at it for over 30 days, and we've thought that was a cold lead and it's maybe lost, and then they say, can't access my environment. Of course, it's because it's no longer there. So if it's something that you're going to reuse, or if it's something that you're maybe going to take a long time looking at, maybe put it on a proper environment, a real environment within either a partner or your own business tenant. So we'll start the technical walkthrough now. I've put these URLs up here. They both go to the same place. I've just the first one is just shortened just so that you can access it quickly. I'm gonna just take my camera off and run through the technical demo. There we go. And I'll hopefully share the technical demo with you. If I don't, then let me know. Sure, you can blur things out, Claire, in the videos. Cool. So we'll start off the technical demo not at these URLs. We will go to these URLs in a second. What I'll do, I'll actually put them into the chat as well. Anybody who wants to get to them can get to them. And where I start when I'm setting up a trial, I use Edge or Chromium, and I create a new profile. So you can access, it's best to do this if you've got multiple tenants. It can get, your browsers can get confused. So you can run through you can just open up a browser in incognito and run through the process in that. But I find it just easier because it's something you're going to be opening up again and again, just to create a new profile in Edge or Chrome. And to do that in Edge, I'm going to use, you click New Profile and click Add. And you can give it a name later. We're not going to sync anything. And so if we browse to that URL, what I also do with these is I show my favorites bar. And I'll add a directory there just to identify what profile that is. Again, this is completely optional. This is just what I do. So I know what it is. Sometimes I add the expiry date once I get it set up to say what, so I know when I open that up what date is set to expire, and it just acts as a wee reminder. And then you need to sign up with an email address. Now, I tend not to use my my business email address. I've got a Hotmail account, so an Outlook account set up. That's again another throwaway account that I've got set up. But you can use your personal email address as well if you want, or you can use your company email addresses. I have seen at times in the past where if you're using your company email address, sometimes it if you think you're setting up too many trials, it'll maybe do some more checks on you. But I've never had any problems with a Outlook or a Hotmail address for setting up Power Apps trials. So I just do that. Let me just get it. So I usually, as I say, this is a throwaway email address, so I'm not that bothered about just deleting it after I set this up. So put your email address in. It'll say, again, even if you have got one set up against that email address, it'll still prompt you to set up the account. Then click set up account and just add your name and your details. And the only bit that's really important in here, and again, I'm sure Claire, you'll need to be able to blur this out when we before putting it on YouTube, is the phone number. So you have to use your real phone number. So we'll come to the name, we'll call it, it can be anything you want as well for the company name, as long as the next stage where you choose your domain name, it's unique. Some people just bump it right up to 1,000 so they get most resources associated to them. I play fair. I just say that it's 284 because I'm not going to have 1,000 people on it. Like next, so a text verification will be sent to this mobile. This is the bit I was worried about not working, not actually sharing my screen. And I've got that text message. So then it gives you a 6-digit code. And you click verify. Now again, I have seen in the past, it's never happened to me. I have heard of people setting up loads of trials on their mobile number and the mobile number maybe getting blocked, and it's saying they have to go through some other verification and they have to contact support, and it gets a bit long-winded. But I'd say the amount of trials I've set up, I've never had any problems, and that is only a handful of times. If you think that there are multiple consultants working for the same company, possibly using the same mobile numbers or shared phones, it's maybe happened a handful of times. So it's not that's unlikely to happen. So custom domain, this is the bit that has to be unique. A lot of people put their company name in. I like to, because I create so many of them, I like to just precede it with the date, sometimes even the time. It depends how many I'm setting up in the day, because it happens when you have to set up a few. If that's been taken, then well, unlucky. That's worth just copying this just now into Notepad. I mean, that's my throwaway email account, so I'm not bothered if anybody gets that. This just saves you, if we're copying it just now, it just saves you opening up your email account later. Right, next, name, and then create a password, and password can be anything. Oops. put that into my, let's go in my password management tool. I usually, when I create these profiles as well, I install my password management tool on it as well, just so that I don't need to keep populating my passwords. And that says go to setup. And that's us now got a 30-day Office 365 E3 trial. And like I said, it's fully functional. You can download all the apps to your desktop and you do it within 30 days. The next thing we'll do is go in and add the Power Apps components to it. Because like I said, you can add subscriptions to this trial. It's fully functional. So I'll skip this bit. And just go to office.com and sign in with my details if it prompts me. And I can go to my admin console. And we want to manage the subscriptions here. One thing I've noticed, and this is only just recently, is that if you go into this screen too quickly, it's like it hasn't created the trial fully yet. And if you go to your products, which used to be subscriptions, you get a very limited number displayed in the table. It might have happened here actually. It just takes a wee while to get everything set up in the background, because I suppose it is doing quite a lot. So there's our Office 365 trial. We'll go to purchase services. And we've got all the Microsoft products that we can add. We can add whatever we want there, but obviously we're looking for free trials. And specifically we're looking for Power Platform free trials. So we'll go for Power Apps per user plan. Let's get some information in there and click Get Free Trial. So that's us got a free trial of Power Apps, and we'll go in and put Power Automate in there as well, just in case we want to do some flows that involve integration within our 30 days. Where is it? Let's make our flow. There we go. And you can add whatever products you want in here. The only ones that I've not tried adding through here are the Dynamics ones. That's a different process. The Dynamics 365 first-party apps. It's a different process to set up those trials. Starts off a bit differently. So that's the only ones I've not tried adding through this portal. But one of the kind of favourites that I like to add are Visio and Project, things like that.
Omnichannel is one that you would do through here.
Do you do Omnichannel through here, do you?
Yeah. But you need to have the existing customer service trial first.
Yeah, so you do the Dynamics 365 customer service, and then you do the Omnichannel. Insights, the Insights apps in here as well. You need to add through here, don't you, as well? So if you look at Customer Insights or Sales Insights or anything like that, it's through here you do it. So let's go back to our Office 365 hub portal, our main screen, and go back to admin, and we'll have a look at our users. And just make sure everything's in the right place. So if we go to users and we click active users, and it's just me, which is fine. And then if I open up that user, I can then associate some licenses to myself. And you can see we've got 24, 25, and we've got 25 licenses of Power Apps and Power Automate. So I'll save these changes. And this is where you set up any additional users as well. What I normally do, if it's for a demo, the quickest way to set up users is to import them. Let's see if I can ever do that. You can just add multiple users usually along the top here. I'll find it where it is now. It needs to be moved. There's a way you can just import the users and then bulk assign the licenses. If you're doing that, I can show you, or you can just add them manually. You only really need to bulk add them if you're adding something like the full 25 users, which is, you don't normally need that unless you're doing some sort of kind of big field service demo. But we can add another user in here. Let's just add my sister. And you've got all the full functionality of the Office 365 and Active Directory. And we'll give her some licenses. So that's got our users added and our licenses assigned to the users. Again, there's other ways of doing that through Azure, but this is probably the simplest way of doing it. So if I then go back to my Office 365, just hit refresh and see if our apps come through. So we've got some more apps coming through there. We can go to Power Apps and open that up, and that'll take us to our Maker portal. It's important just to go into this Maker portal once first as your administrator, because that registers them as a maker. Then what you can do, if you go to admin.powerplatform.com, I can never remember whether it's Power Apps or Power Platform. I think it's the same place now, but there's two of them. This is in the right place. I'll put that in the chat as well. So this is our admin portal, our Power Apps admin portal. And we've got a default environment here. Now, every tenant has a default environment. Everyone that's got a Power Apps license of some sort has a default environment. I've heard mixed views on this. It'd be good to get something concrete, because some people say this is just for creating personal productivity tools. Other people install a CDS database on it. I haven't had anything concrete on that yet for what the actual use for that is. Don't know if anybody knows. Maybe that's one for discussing in the discussion, whether that should be used to build databases and build stuff, or whether it's purely for personal productivity tools. But what we're going to do is we're going to click New, and we can create a new production environment. And we'll just call it production. And we'll click to create a database, and that'll install the Common Data Service database on that environment. You can change the URL if you want. I'm not going to do it this time. And click Save. And it does it reasonably quick. Is it limited to it now? I thought you could take a production one, but what I'll do, we'll create a trial one then. But we'll still call it production. Again, trial environments, when you create them, last 30 days. I thought you were allowed one production one. They might have changed it. It'll allow me to create a trial for myself. Now, the thing with creating the trial environments, if I were to create a production environment, it would last for the duration of my tenancy. The trial environments are, so you can have one trial environment for each trial user you have in your tenancy, and only the trial users can create trial environments. So we've got kind of two environments here: a default environment and a production environment, which is a trial. After 30 days, that's scrapped, regardless of whether the tenant's been extended or not. If I were to try and create another trial environment, I'm allowed one per user, so technically I should be allowed two, and we'll call that test. But it'll stop me, it'll send an error, and it'll say that I've reached my limit. And that's because you have to create the trial environments as that user. So if I were to log in as Rachel, who's the other user that I've created, I could go in and create another trial environment, but no more until I add another user. And then I have to authenticate as that user and create the environment as them. You'll expect an error here. Yeah, it says you've reached your limit. But if you see what I'm trying to say, you could create 25 users, and if you get each of those users to log in, you could have a trial environment with 25 trial environments in it. And that admin administers them all. Once they're created, they can go in and administer them and use them just like other environments. If we go to the Power App Maker portal now, and go to Power Apps, we can then start building apps in that environment, and we just select the environment from the top. It'll tell us it's got 29 days left, and we can start building apps and opening that environment, and that's a fully functioning Power Platform database. So that's us created the environment. There is ways of extending them. So if you go into the admin console and you click billing and your products, which used to be subscriptions till yesterday, I think. And you can extend trial for each of these different trials. Now, to extend a trial this way, you need to put your credit card details in. So if you are doing it, just put a reminder in your calendar to cancel it. And at the moment, because of COVID-19 crisis, you can actually extend it up to 90 days. So normally you can extend it to 60 days, but now you can extend it to up to 90 days because of the current crisis and the current environment. I'm not going to put my credit card details in there because I don't trust Claire to blur them out before she puts
I was like, come on, not again.
But yeah, you extend up to 90. There is another way of extending the trial. It involves emailing Microsoft, but I mean that's something that we can just you can extend it longer. That's something not really for this session. I'm happy to go through that process if someone really needs a trial longer than 90 days, but I would get in the habit of just creating them every month or every couple of months. And so that's really it. That's creating the trial and extending it. Let me just pull up my slides again. So next steps, what we're going to do for, if you want to try and practice that, if you haven't run through with us, have a watch the video, go over again. I'll put a Word document onto the session as well. I'll post it with step-by-step instructions, so you don't need to watch the whole video again, especially my mess up at the start without sharing my screen. But you can look through that Word document, skim through it, create your trial environment and create 2 users within the tenant, and authenticate with those 2 users and create 2 more trial environments with databases for them. Set my calendar back on. And call the trial environments development and testing, because this will lead us on to the next session. Because next session we're going to be looking at solutions, and we'll be moving solutions and customizations and data between those trial environments.